Okay, now that that video's out of the way, back to normal day life. So what I originally planned on doing yesterday was trimming these tomatoes and planting tomatoes, because the planting by the signs, if you caught that, today is about one of our last days to plant above ground crops, because we're about to go on like a 3-week span of like it's underground stuff or not good days to do it. So we got rain in the forecast, so I need to get all these tomatoes trimmed up because they're getting nuts. I got to get the rest of those tomatoes planted, and we're just going to take y'all around for the day and then just enjoy another day here on Stivers Homestead. So let's get right at it. All right, when I say trimming, what I'm doing is like cutting these low hanging branches up so we can get more on a single stalk. I'm finding suckers to get out like that guy so we can move to one single stalk, and to just allow that airflow, because as you can see right here, see how bushy we're getting down in the bottom? That's what you don't want. You want to have a nice airflow underneath so that humidity stays low, because that'll be a big culprit in killing your tomatoes, is not enough airflow. All right, it looks like a massacre happened around here, but they're all trimmed up. You can see how they got nice breathing room. And now I need to get to staking and tying, because some of these are ready. So what I'm doing is, now that we've got all the stakes in, the one thing you want to watch with the stakes is, because we already have the tomato plants in here and they've already started to grow their roots out, you want to make sure that when you put them in, you put them far enough away from your plant to where you're not disturbing the roots when you push the stakes in, because you want to get them down as far as you can. So I did, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches out. We recently put these in, so there shouldn't have been too much root growth from what was already in there. But you can also hear it, you know, if you just hear dirt going down, the first second you hear kind of a pop sound, that's usually a root. So you need to pull out and back out a little bit, but just do your best on that. If you do get the roots, they'll recover. You might see a little struggle after that on them trying to basically repair themselves. But now we're just tying up. So not all of these are completely ready or need tying. But we have a storm coming in, and so where they're getting taller, they can really lean a lot. Now that does help your stalks get a little bit stronger, but you also want them to be safe. You don't want them to snap, because they are starting to get a little top heavy. So I actually have a cool thing that Jen bought coming Monday. It's like a trellis gun, so I'm excited to try that. But for now, until that gets in here, I'm actually just using twine from our hay bales that we give our animals. I save all these because you just never know when you need some rope, and hay twine is great to use that for. So I'm just going around and tying them all up. I always think it looks so cool with those tobacco sticks. Hey, use what works, right? So if you look online, or if you go to your stores, you're gonna see like those big 8-foot piece sticks that they're charging way too much money for. If you can get your hands on some tobacco sticks, is what we call them here in Kentucky. I think some other people call them like grape sticks, or usually whatever was popularly grown in your neck of the woods is what they're nicknamed after. But we have them all around Kentucky called tobacco sticks because that's what you use to put your tobacco on. So I suggest doing this because you can get these a dime a dozen for that, and just a little Gorilla Tape does the job real nice. And we're off.
What are we doing? Like 5,000 degrees out here.
Well, we're getting eggs and moving babies.
I just want to get the pole. Speaking of the pole, look at that beast. So we bought a float because we go tubing on the creek sometimes, and we're going to do it here in a couple weeks. And we decided to try it out in the pool, and it is absolutely huge. It almost basically doesn't really fit in the pool. You can't swim while it's in there. You going into battle? You going into battle?
Going into battle.
They're all in the coop. Guinea's got y'all up in there all hot. Already day.
Nice to shoot.
Hi, T-Bird.
I'm coming in. Coming in.
You know what?
Yeah. Get out there.
Oh. Oh.
Ow. Look at all those beautiful eggs.
Baby eggs.
That's a really pretty blue one.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, ladies. Good job. Okay, so we sowed our 3 wethers, and that isn't always the most fun thing for the mamas. So we left their remaining babies with them. But the time has passed, and we need our milk again, so it's time to move the babies back into their side. Good girls. Scared to death of me though now, aren't you? That worked out just fine. Callie went in by herself. She didn't know what was happening. Angel was a little bit more difficult. She caught on. What are they, babe?
What is Homestead?
Homestead honeys, the money makers. All right, that job is done. And it looks like a storm's a brewing.
Of course. Just in time for the poll.
Okay, so we had to rush. The rain came in hot and heavy on us, just out of nowhere. But it didn't rain a whole lot. It's not one of those like ground soakers or anything, but it was a good little drink for the garden. I'm sure it really enjoyed it. But we're gonna finish planting our new area tomatoes. And I got a new toy that I want to try out. Pretty excited about it. Oh, come on, my little Xenia. Open. Open. Gosh, I can't wait to see you. Okay, so this guy. You all have probably, if you search anything garden related, you've probably seen ads for one of these little hole diggers. Either on some kind of social media thing. It's been staring me in the face on a lot of different ads on Amazon and different stuff like that. So I finally broke down and got one. It's a pretty big guy, pretty thick. It just fits in a regular drill. It did not fit in my impact, so I had to have a regular one for it. But this till garden where it's first plot, like it's first time, the soil's still a little heavy when it comes down deep low. And where you're planting tomatoes, you need to get deep, and these are pretty established tomatoes because it's really just like, where are we gonna put them? So I wanted to give this guy a try, see if it's worth it. It was pretty cheap. I think it was only like, I don't remember. I think it was like 15 bucks or something like that. I don't know if it was that much. I will put it down below in the description, and I'll probably pin it just so y'all can find it pretty easily if you're interested in it as well. But I have tested it in some holes. Now I'm excited to see how it does in the garden. Okay, it's starting to rain. So I don't know how much more we're gonna get for the evening to show you on camera because it's camera. So I want to show you real quick how this works. I'm coming. So you just put it down in here. And then look at that, you got a hole. Works pretty daggone good. Now the race is on to get this camera back inside. It's very light right now, so hopefully I can get back out here and get these things planted. But you all can't come with me if it rains, unfortunately. I apologize. Hopefully it'll stop and I can show you all afterwards. Okay, I am back. It's been 2 days since I recorded that, and the rain all poured down on us. So I got as many as I could in. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in out of 19 of them. And then yesterday we had some awesome friends come from Georgia. Well, they were going to Tennessee for vacation. So they drove a couple more hours up the road to Kentucky here to visit. And so we hung out with them all day yesterday. It was an absolute blast. We didn't get a single picture, a single video or anything because we were all just enjoying each other's time so much and it just completely slipped our mind. But Northern Bell Farms, Liz and Chris and their kiddos came up and we had an amazing time. She does not have a YouTube channel. However, she does have an awesome Facebook and an amazing garden down in Georgia, South Georgia. So she sells all kinds of stuff. So if you're in the Southern Georgia area, search up Northern Bell Farm and we'll link her Facebook down below just so you can check it out. And even if you aren't there and you don't want to buy anything, she's an awesome channel, or an awesome page, I guess you would say, to show you all kinds of tips and tricks. She's the reason we grow some of the things here, like that Thai blue thing that I can never get right because she was posting pictures last year of her like purplish blue tea from that, and I thought it was so cool, so I convinced Jen to do it this year. But anyways, great family. We had an awesome time. Make sure to go check out her Facebook page. You'll learn some stuff. You'll see some really cool things, and then you also learn how to grow a lot of different varieties that maybe you don't do right now. And then if you're in the area, she sells all kinds of stuff. But I got to get back to these tomatoes, and it is not going to rain this round. It is about 90 degrees here in Kentucky. We kept joking with Elizabeth and Chris that they brought the Georgia heat up here to Kentucky because we normally ain't 90 on, what is it, like June 4th, 5th? But I'm not complaining. It's better than winter. So now I can actually show you how this drill legit works, hopefully. They are all planted. Okay, excuse the runniness. I sweat a lot and it gets all of it in my nose. But that drill really made things a lot easier and a lot quicker because where this is a first tilled garden, it's pretty tilled up on the top, but as you get a little bit lower, it's still pretty solid. And here in Kentucky, we have some pretty solid clay dirt that we're mainly working with once we get past the topsoil. So that drill really made it easy to get the tomatoes down deep. It's not really necessary for some of your other plants that you're just planting your root bound basically. But I did put 2 okra at the end and I used it and it still just made it quicker and easier. So I don't know, y'all got to see it. I mean, I recommended it. I definitely didn't waste 15 bucks or whatever it was. It definitely came in handy. And then of course, if you're using it in a raised bed or a nice loose soil, it's really gonna rock and roll. Mine, I had to put a little elbow grease behind it to really get down the hose, but I'm happy because when I did that first row over there, kind of daggone about half the day to get it in. And this row total was about 45 minutes, if that. So I'm excited. And now, tomorrow, what we'll probably do, which will be on the next video, is I'm actually going to put up some T-posts and then use some fencing that we use in our backyard to have the tomatoes trellis up to it. Well, trellis, but tie to. So that way we can see what we can get out of this brand new tilled garden. Okay, I'm back over here in the shade beside the pool because that's where we're headed next. It is a hot, hot day.
Yes, it is.
But this was a 2 days worth video because the rain ruined our afternoon the last time. But you got to see how we do a few different ways with our tomatoes. So you got to see in our raised bed, the double tobacco stick with Gorilla Tape. That's what we use. It makes them about 7-8 foot tall. It's super cheap. So find you some of those if you're looking for a cheap way to tie your tomatoes up. You got to learn how to prune tomatoes a little, and we got all of them cleaned up. And then you got to see us use the new drill auger thingy to plant tomatoes, which, like I said, it was a huge help. And got the holes deep enough to where I could actually plant the tomatoes deep, and pretty awesome. Like I said, I didn't waste $15 in it, and I'll make sure to link it down below if you're interested.
Definitely made it quicker too.
Yeah, and then of course our friends Northern Bell Farm came.
Yeah, that was awesome. Their family was so cool. Our kids loved playing with their kids, and they just had a really good time. I wish they were closer, but hopefully we can get together more, which seems to be the theme of the past few years, meeting all you people. We always wish you were closer, but until we get closer, we'll just keep talking online and hopefully spend time together when we can. Right,
and that just makes the visits even that more special. So hopefully soon, I don't know how 2020 is looking, if there's anything else, but hopefully at least in 2021, we'll start picking back up these events and such, and we'll be able to start getting on our calendars and figuring out which ones we're going to. So we miss seeing every single one of you.
Yes, we do.
Ray, you want to tell everybody bye?
Bye.
Hey, what do we tell them? What do they need to do?
Subscribe.
And hit the bell.
And hit the bell. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Down below, I'll link the drill auger and then also link Northern Bell Farms Facebook.
Yeah.
So y'all can check her out. But yeah, I think that's it.
Time to get in the pool.
Yeah. Heat stroke time.
Maybe this time. Maybe next time. One of these times we'll get some pool footage.
Yeah. We'll do our best.
Yeah.
Usually once we're in there.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
All right. We love y'all.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.